Good morning. It is Tuesday, January 29th, 2019. You're listening to Radio Free Radford. I'm Dustin Staples, your weather announcer, host, guest, captain and commander of weather, and a lot more entertainment here on this Tuesday. I hope you're doing well out there listening on. While you're at it, follow us on Facebook at Radio Free Radford, and the same story on Instagram. You can follow us there and like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at Radio Free Raddy. Of course, a lot of great content has been that's been tweeting and posted, and social media is all out there. We keep you updated on the happenings of Radford on campus and Radford everywhere, and a lot of good things for sure. So anyway, start things off this morning with it's cloudy out there, and we are under actually a winter weather advisory until 7 p.m. tonight. Of course, the snow chances are still out there. Right now, it is showing signs of. It's just now approaching the New River Valley. We're looking at Doppler radar right now, picking up a few flurries, points west of 81, and it's going to be coming here, folks, so just kind of be patient with it. And you're looking outside your window, you're saying, where's the snow? You said it would be snowing. Well, yes, I would, so give it a few minutes or so. We'll get a couple of downpours of some heavy snow. I'm not projecting a lot of them out, between maybe 1 to 2 inches. Reason why, there's a couple of scenarios of why the storm system kind of changed yesterday. One, the air is a little bit dry too on top of that, so a lot of the moisture kind of gets soaked up like a sponge almost, and it just feeds away, and it's eaten up by the dry air, and so that pretty much takes a lot of the evaporation cooling takes place on top of that, and that kind of prevents it from, getting a blizzard compared to just a few inches. So, again, some areas are going to pick up a couple of inches. Other areas can pick up a nice little coating up to a half inch to an inch, depending on where you're at here. Depending if you're from Blacksburg, Pearisburg, here in the city of Radford, Christiansburg, Dublin, right off of that. Of course, the school systems around Pulaski County and Radford City are closed today because of inclement weather later on this morning, and it's going to be later on this afternoon as we're going to start seeing the snow start to pick up. Again, it'd be a few snow showers from time to time, and then again, if you get this big burst of snow that could overcome the road temperatures. But it's been kind of cold, so anything that will start sticking anything that will start falling will start sticking, because temperatures are going to be falling to the 20s this afternoon with a low of 19. Wind chills are going to be remaining in the low to upper teens, upper single digits to lower teens tonight. So the winds are west out of the west northwest, about 15 to 20 maybe gust from time to time. Tomorrow is when we're going to really feel the brunt of this weather. We're not going to even get above freezing, so any moisture that does fall out there, it's just going to pretty much stick around for quite a while. Near 29 tomorrow with a low of 9 tomorrow night, so that's about 20 degrees right there. For sure, wind chills again will be in the minus single digits to minus teens. So tomorrow or Thursday morning is when we're going to really feel the brunt of it, because the winds will be blowing around 20-30 miles per hour out of the west. Could occasionally gust over 40 from time to time. So we have some powerful cold air punching in our direction, and the cold air is going to be sticking around till Friday, and another chance of possible rain snow mix early Friday morning. Another small disturbance coming through. It will probably start to snow as temperatures will be below freezing early Thursday or early Friday morning in the 20s for sure. And the winds are going to be shifting from the west to the west southwest, and giving us a little bit of a southerly flow so we can gradually warm up. And of course, it's Super Bowl weekend. I told you yesterday you should be all right for the weekend. Mid 50s, maybe 60 before next week. So yeah, and of course, the Groundhog Day is Saturday, and a lot of folks they kind of say, well, the groundhog said this, and you say, well, the weather guy said this, so you got a little bit of debate going on. Obviously, it's just a fun one of those folklore things out there that people kind of they agree with it, and other some sense. As a weather guy here, I kind of look at it and say, really, is that really going to come true? But people have different opinions about it, and that's we're going to stick with that, and I'm not going to go into much detail with it. And of course, if you want to have a talk, we can come on here and talk about it if you like. All you have to do is you can email rfr@radford.edu, and we'll leave it there. So if you want to come talk about it, we'll be more than happy to. Alrighty, moving things along into some news headlines. Last night, if you pay attention to the news, there was unfortunately a shooting that took place in Texas yesterday. About 5 officers, unfortunately, did not make it. The details are still kind of unfolding out there. I really don't know much about. I think it was in Houston, Texas, or somewhere. I know it was in Texas somewhere. And unfortunately, 5 officers did not make it. And just a way, it seems like that's unfortunately, a lot of the normal around here, or not here, but around a lot of the world, the United States. It seems like there's one of those incidents that just, happens. And very sad to see that occur. And I'm not going to go into too much detail either on that note. But, people have their opinions based about it. And we'll kind of leave it as that. So anyway, we're going to be seeing the possibility for some much warmer weather for the upcoming Super Bowl weekend. We'll talk about Super Bowl in a few minutes. I'm trying to keep things brief. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention our guest here. They messaged me last night. We were supposed to have some Girl Scout, a leader and her daughter coming on this morning. She messaged me yesterday afternoon because of the weather, and I kind of, I understood that, and so they'll be coming on Thursday from 10. Hopefully, I'll be getting back in base with them and see if they're all right. If we're scheduling for Thursday, they said they were, so I'm going to get back in base with them tomorrow just to make sure everything is in line. Looking at my almanac, of course, I got the 2019 edition last October for my birthday, and I kind of look at this and a good thing for sure. And folklore, weather folklore, a lot of things talk about it. And so today, weather news last week, the super blood moon occurred. And if you saw that, the super blood wolf moon, and made this reddish-looking color to it. We'll talk about why it's called that. It's called the super. It was a super blood wolf moon. Super meaning it was kind of closer to the Earth. So if you kind of saw it out during the night, it was very really bigger than it was supposed to be. The Earth, Sun, and Moon all lined up during about 12-ish midnight, 12:30, Sunday, Monday Sunday, Monday, that time frame. And of course, the blood moon gave it that kind of a little bit of a blood look to it. And the wolf moon is the name of the month of the January, and every month has a moon as a name for itself, I should say. And so that's where the names come from. And the full snow moon for February, because typically February is our snowiest month. But here recently, the past several Februaries, it's a couple of Februaries in a year, 2 years ago, it seems to be in the warmth record. February, I don't think that's going to happen this year. I think we're going to get a little bit of a colder weather for February, if signs are pointing out to. For sure. And kind of just what the almanac is predicting, they've a little bit sort of been on target so far. Obviously, they were predicting they got snow north, and that's kind of now flurries, which we're going to be pretty much seeing today, and a few snow showers, and possibly cold. So they nailed this one correct, and they're predicting snowy periods, cold, and showers and mild for the first week and a half or two for the almanac, and this is the Old Farmer's Almanac. So this is what they're predicting, but I don't think we're going to be getting any snow next week. I think we'll be seeing some of the warming models are showing near 60, as I said a few minutes ago, for sure. So anyway, that's that. And I also have the best things for every day, best days to get a haircut, perm your hair, color your hair, paint, wash windows. It's not washing window weather, by the way. So maybe inside you can get some the Windex, the clean window cleaner, and maybe clean and wash some of those germs and stuff off the windows, because a lot of sicknesses have been going around, especially out in the West. Washington State particularly has this major measles outbreak. It's one of the largest ones, unfortunately, and it's made its way to the East Coast now. So, folks, you take very careful on when you're out there and talking to folks and shaking hands. A lot of folks are very tedious about shaking hands, especially between now and since November and about mid-December or so. and November to about mid-March. Let me get my months right there, because it's flu season and we're in the midst of that right now. So if you got your flu shot, if you don't get it, I'm not saying go out there and get it, but if you normally do get it, doctors are recommending to go ahead and get that now, because this is one of these weeks, or one of these years, this has been the most epidemic yet for a lot of flu outbreaks. Of course, back in 2009 and 10, the H1N1 virus became very, very big, and did get a little bit of that, but thankfully I didn't get major sick, and I'm here and healthy here starting out 2019 so far. But anyway, if you're trying to maybe, cut your hair, lighten your hair, strengthen, the best days for that's actually today through the Thursday. So if maybe you're trying to straighten the hair, get that taken care of. Maybe if you're going to be doing some paint projects, kind of past the due dates on those. But February 11th and 12th are the good days for that. Let's see, maybe to encourage your growth of your hair. We kind of already passed those, so but maybe to discourage your growth, it's January 29th to 31st. And for February, it's maybe to encourage some growth would be 8th to the 10th. Very shortly, go and mark this stuff on your calendars maybe. And I know a lot of farmers out there, especially here in rural Virginia, right out here off of 81 and down to some of the country roads. You see a lot of this hay farming taking place. It's pretty much out there. And it's a little bit of hey, I know a lot of people are allergic to it. There's a chemical, something in it, straw, and something else that kind of makes people get that. So if you're trying to cut some hay, maybe you can do that the February 8th to 10th time frame. And maybe you're thinking about buying, in addition to the family, getting a new animal. It's 15th and the 16th of February are your good days. Anyway, this is all on almanac.com. You can check that out for best days of what is trending. I know I've been pretty much all over the place this morning. Let's get to your national day, your word of the day, or quote of the day. I know people can take into a concept of saying word of the day, but this is by Booker T. Washington, a very famous person in history. If you've learned about him, you know what he's famous for. If you want to lift yourself up, you can also lift someone else up. So there you go. Obviously, if you're feeling down, and maybe if you're sick, somebody's out there and maybe trying to take care of them, make them go over there, make them feel better, and tell them, hey, it's okay. We'll get through this together. And for today's National Day, we'll pull up the calendar. National Puzzle Day. So if you're trying to find a puzzle, perfect day to do it, folks, because it's gloomy, it's cold. If you don't have any classes, or if you have any classes on later in the day, go pull out a puzzle and start putting stuff together. I like putting puzzles together, especially the crossword puzzles. Those are pretty cool. So this is the perfect day to do a little bit of brain exercise, whether crossword, like I said, jigsaw, or Sudoku, or however you say it. Puzzles engages our brain in more ways than one. Scientists have discovered that when we work a jigsaw puzzle, we utilize both sides of the brain, improving memory, cognitive function, and problem-solving skills in the process. By utilizing puzzles, people can still stimulate the brain and improve a number of skills. How about that? And see if we can. Why do we love National Puzzle Day? Well, one, studies say it makes you happy. I've shown that people who participate in collaborating games such as puzzles have higher level happiness. In some cases, relaxation, a result of their good old-fashioned. A challenging jigsaw puzzle undoubtedly brings out the sense of joy. It's all for fun. I know a lot of, especially if you're in some of these competitions, have puzzle competitions out there. Very competitive, and you can do that also. And it also serves as a sense of accomplishment, like I just said, not just in a personal sense, but a group of sense, that feeling of competing, that final few pieces with the puzzle with your best friend equals priceless. And C says that is a way of stimulating the mind, shows that improving numbers and problem-solving skills while keeping the brain active. So maybe on this cold day, get you a cup of hot chocolate and a bowl of chili and some soup and crackers, whatever you want to have. If you have a crock pot, throw you a thing of chicken, maybe stew, whatever it is. I know here folks at the East Coast are like, wow, he's talking about some nice cold weather. Folks elsewhere around the United States, well, you're going to be needing the same thing too, from Michigan to North Dakota, even far south as Florida. They're going to be waking up lows in the 30s and mid-30s and 40s tomorrow because of that bitter cold air. It's also National Plan a Vacation Day. So I know a lot of folks, we just started back school. You're trying to maybe think of spring break. Wow, where am I going to go for spring break? Well, today you need to go and start planning for that, because today is your day. And we'll read a little bit about this day. Is typically the last Tuesday in every January. Reminds us to plan our vacation at the start of the year. The early bird gets to pack their bags and fly away to a little fun and relaxation. And of course, this is a lot of things. People trying to plan summer vacation, especially in public schools. And maybe you're, I don't know, just on a vacation, coming off a vacation, you say, hey, I need another vacation. Well, do today to plan that out to the next time you go out of state, representing anywhere around the world, United States, and so forth, be it. And this was launched by the Travel Association project known as Time Off Initiative in 2017. National Plan for Vacation Day provides an opportunity to come together at a single moment and rally around the importance of planning for a vacation. And again, more than 600 organizations representing in all 50 states come together and encourage Americans to plan for vacation. And you can learn more at projecttimeoff.com/plan and join the conversation with the hashtag Plan for Vacation. And it's also National Corn Chip Day. Let's take a look at that day, shall we? And corn chip, the tostados, I personally like those with a nice grilled cheese sandwich maybe, or whatever you want to have for it. Or especially, when you're going to a Mexican restaurant, the corn chips or the salsa with you've got some spot on food for sure. And so let's not be confused with their French fry or Fritos. A lot of people can say those are with the tortilla chip. Both are made from cornmeal, which is baked or fried in oil. And around the same time, Elmore Doolin was also traveling in San Antonio, was enjoying his favorite Fritos, and according to this story, he paid $100 just for a recipe so he could make his own tortilla chips, experimenting in his own home until he created the ideal chip. Dolan then started selling them from the back of the Model T4. Keep in mind, General Henry Ford back in the early 30s and 40s, and then this became a mass production under the name of Frito corn chips, where they were a hit. In 1945, Dolan then came into an agreement with Herman Lay of the Lay potato chips to distribute Dolan Fritos across the country. Then both of these companies merged after his death in 1955. So we've got what did I say today was National Puzzle Day. While you're doing a puzzle, maybe get a thing of chili, get some tortilla chips, or some Frito corn chips, whatever you like. While you're at it, put your puzzle piece down, eat your tortilla chip and the salsa, and go on the calendar and mark your days for your vacation. That's the way to put 3 international days into one day, folks. So maybe think about that. There you go. I've been pretty much planning your day, and you can get things going rather smoothly. All right, let's see what some other events are happening around campus. Yesterday, I mentioned many of them. And, of course, just a reminder, tomorrow night, we'll be remembering Alexis Cannon. Of course, the incident, I'm not going into detail with that. Tomorrow at 9:15 in the Max Lab, which is the bottom court in the Recreation Center. And, of course, you can, any questions, you can email sga@radford.edu. And those are via candlelight service, again, at 9:15 in the gymnasium right this next door to the body. And so, again, thoughts and prayers are continuing with her family. And with the cold weather, which we're going to be seeing the next several days, a couple of tips. Obviously, you need to check your the tires and your tire pressure, actually, in your car. If you kind of observe your tire pressure, in some sense, the air pressure kind of drops in with the cold air, so it has a little bit of an interference with that. So if you're noticing, you start to say, oh no, I'm getting a flat, no, what's happening is the air pressure in the tire is starting to go low, so be sure to check those before you leave your home, or try to get to the nearest, I know a lot of the gas stations now put those little tire pressure pumps out in their front, and you can pump up your tire. And another thing you can do for staying warm, obviously have a plan, put a backup kit in your trunk. Let's say you accidentally get stranded on the side of the interstate or somewhere in the middle of nowhere, you don't have a plan. Gloves, hats, scarves, blankets, even some non-perishable food, granola bars, water, whatever it may be. Keep that with you. Socks and earmuffs, a lot of that heavy jacket. So that can also prevent you from frostbite. Covers up your whole body, including the mouth. They say to cover, wear a hat, mitten, which is warmer than gloves, believe it or not. So get mittens are warmer than gloves, and then cover your mouth with a scarf to reduce the heat. So again, if you have your face masks, that works too. And then on top of that, they're saying, or if you don't have a face mask, I'd imagine, kind of wrap that around your mouth and so forth, be it so your lips can stay dry. So your lips can stay moist, I should say, not dry, because right now there are a lot of moisturizer and chapstick yours truly and many other folks are using for sure. And obviously keep your clothes dry. Stay away from wet clothing because you obviously lose a lot of body heat that is later around with that. And wear layers of loose-fitting, lightweight clothing rather than one layer or a heavy clothing. And of course, you keep more of your heat in your body temperature won't drop as quickly with that being in mind. And we'll keep you updated later on today with the snow. Looks like we're getting a little bit of mixing starting to take place now. We hope you make it a wonderful Tuesday. I'll be back with you solo again tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll get some people in Thursday and Friday. Girl Scout City of Radford's coming in Thursday, scheduled. I'm going to get back with them. And then again, East Sporting, Nick Sutton and the vice president of that group will be coming on. A lot of other things too. Anyway, careful about the snow chances today. Extremely cold temperatures arrive tomorrow, and we'll stick it around to Friday. Maybe another chance to rain snow mix. Welcome to the mountains, folks. This is what the mountains are for, getting small disturbance for us. Stay tuned for some more great hits on RadioFreeRadford.com.